Hello and welcome to Americans Learn. My name is Lauren and today I am going to be looking at a Sabaton video. It's been a long time since I've looked at a Sabaton video, but you know, 'tis the season and I'm still filming this in the season. I've got my little boy over here, my little man. He's gonna watch with me today, but he won't be visible for long. But yeah, no, I'm watching Night Witches. So I'm gonna be doing the Sabaton history video first, and then I'll be listening to the song for the first time. Now, I know Kit has listened to this song already, but I haven't. So that's where I'm at. It's time for me to listen to a Sabaton video for the first time in like over 2 years, probably.
Soldiers fighting the Second World War. When you think of the soldiers fighting the Second World War, you probably think of men with machine guns.
However, in our song Night Witches, we're singing about badass women in planes.
Let's go. Oh, so I guess I'm listening to this first. I thought I was going to listen to the history video first, but I guess I'm doing the song first, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
The large-scale industrialization of the Soviet Union in the late 1920s and 1930s opened up the country's economy for women in the workplace, and there was indeed no job for which a woman could not apply. Soviet propaganda encouraged them to join the workforce.
Hey, good. Hey, you know what? It's one of those interesting times for the Soviet propaganda and the American propaganda. We're doing the exact same thing.
And steer the great machines of modernization. And the most fantastic symbol of that particular age of machines was the airplane. Many were inspired by Soviet heroine Marina Raskova, who set world records for long-distance flights,
good for her.
showing what pilots and planes from the Soviet Union could achieve. Newly emerging and quite popular flying clubs were also a chance for many women to escape the monotony or the poverty.
Interesting. I will say though, because this is about the like Soviet women pilots, right? Because I know that there weren't too many American women pilots. Like the women were allowed to make the machines, but they weren't. I don't think they were really flying them.
Of their homes and learn how to become an aircraft mechanic or even a pilot themselves.
Lucky them.
Fast forward to the summer of 1941.
That's cool.
Weeks after the German invasion, hundreds of thousands of Soviet women flocked to the colors, enlisting as nurses, signalers, or anti-aircraft gunners. The experienced female pilots of the flying club served as instructors and advisors for male recruits, but were not allowed themselves to fly into combat. The argument was that there were enough male pilots available. Marina Raskova, however, was determined to make a difference. With her influence in Moscow's political circles as a hero of the Soviet Union, she appealed to Stalin himself and got permission to create 3 all-female flying units: the 586 Fighter Regiment, the 587 Heavy Bomber Regiment, and the 588 Night Bomber Regiment.
Nice.
Raskova was...
Good job, Miss Raskova.
...a natural leader, and her call for volunteers was soon answered by hundreds of young women from all over the Soviet Union hoping to break into the ranks of elite female pilots. By
makes sense.
October, as confusion and chaos swept Moscow in the face of the rapid German advance, Raskova had set up her training camp at the large aerodrome in the city of Engels on the Volga River. There, the women of the 3 regiments were to be trained with planes, engines, armaments, and aeronautical studies and military drills. While the college-educated women were trained as navigators, those with factory or armory experience would work as mechanics. Naturally,
it is cool that they had a lot of options. Because I mean, I've recently watched a video or two from Fat Electrician talking about like what it took to go, like what actually was involved with some of this, with some of the plane flying. And it's not just plane flying. There was some serious math and physics involved with a lot of it, especially like the drops, like crazy. Because I mean, I kind of definitely made some comments about like when they're bombing the ships from the sky. Oh my gosh, words. Where I was like, 1 out of every like 8 things hits or something. That's ridiculous. But then I recently learned how much math goes into it, and it's crazy.
All volunteers wanted to become famous fighter pilots themselves, but only the most talented and experienced pilots were accepted into the fighter regiment. They needed lightning-quick reactions and the ability to remain calm in battle. The professional pilots with many hours of experience were put into the heavy bomber regiment, led by Raskova herself. Those with
need to get some people in customer service. You have to be able to be very quick on your feet for that job.
less experience put into the night bomber regiment. But those women may have needed the greatest courage of them all.
Nighttime for sure. Flying at night? That would be scary. You can't see where you're hitting. Ooh. Good for them. Never miss their mark.
Or to fly the Polikarpov U-2, a flimsy biplane.
Oh, that's so
compared to
mean.
Modern dive bombers. It had been designed and manufactured since the late 1920s and was used most often as a training plane. It had two cockpits, one for the student and one for the instructor. It was a small and slow aircraft.
So it's one of those like basically cardboard planes then that they have to figure out how to make it work.
Made from lightweight plywood and percale, which was finely woven fabric made out of cotton. It was cheap to manufacture, unimpressive and outdated, but nonetheless a reliable workhorse for transporting the wounded, dropping supplies, or reconnaissance flights. The Soviets nicknamed it the crop duster or the duck, while to the Germans it was to be known as the sewing machine or the plywood Russ, since it was totally defenseless and too slow to outrun any of the German fighter planes. It could only operate in the safety of night.
Okay, but yikes, the fact that it's defenseless, that's scary.
Even small arms fire could bring it down fairly easily.
Jesus.
But the overall situation was so bleak that even those little planes became symbols of hope and resistance. Over time, the women began to appreciate the simplicity of the crop duster, especially since the women of the heavy bomber regiment had to fly the Su-2, which was nicknamed the bitch because of how difficult it was to master.
Love it.
But despite Soviet theoretical ideology of equality between the sexes, Russian machismo was pretty merciless, wearing boots, tunics, and greatcoats way too large for them since they were designed for men. The women were constantly mocked and teased by their male counterparts for their lack of femininity. But this only hardened their determination.
Yeah, damn straight.
For them, a soldier was a soldier. Raskova ordered the women to crop their hair, and the battalion's commissar forbade anything she saw as girl talk and prohibited any sort of
that sucks too.
behavior.
Come on.
By late May 1942...
I mean, I guess you do have to, you would have to cut off bits of yourself like that to, make the men respect you for a moment, which sucks so bad. That's just so unfortunate because these women were doing, just as much as the men were for their country and for the war effort. And it's they're making fun of me because I'm not wearing a skirt. F off.
Finally equipped with enough U-2 aircraft to prepare for combat. By summer, they left the aerodrome for the Southwestern Front.
I guess because also my point is if the women were still to be sort of feminine and flirty and still doing just as much as the men, their egos would have been even more hurt and that would have been just led to more frustration.
To meet the German advance on Stalingrad and the Caucasus. As Axis forces were advancing on Rostov, Raskova's night bombers hit the German ammunition and fuel dumps, the vehicles, and the ground troops.
Nice.
Now, it was the navigator's job to find the target and close in on enemy lines. Then the pilot would turn off the engine and silently glide through the night. The first planes would throw down flares to illuminate the targets, and the loads would be dropped. Then they would turn on their engines and escape before the Germans could fight back.
But still,
the U-2
sometimes
were converted to bombers by simple, at first improvised attachments.
Okay.
A bomb load of up to 300 kilos was slung under the wings. Okay, this was not enough to inflict a lot of damage, but that wasn't the main purpose of the night bombers. They were to constantly harass the enemy, to deprive them of sleep,
no sleeping,
wear them down, to grant them no rest periods. And for that, the Germans hated them. After learning that the night bombers were usually piloted by women, they would give them their famous nickname, the Nachthexen, the night witches.
That's so excellent.
Every morning, The women came back with red faces and bloodshot eyes. They rebuilt their lives around their nocturnal life, having dinner in the morning and going straight to bed. They were
sounds about right.
tired and hungry. But they were sure proud of showing the Soviet Union that women could fly as well as any man. And with every
and better than a lot of them, probably. That's intense. Also, like, it does, I have seen a lot of like evidence that suggests that people who work the night shifts, like, it really isn't what we're built for. Like, some people are built like to be more morning people or more night people, but like shifting your whole circadian rhythm to be only on night shifts can really like mess up internally your whole everything. It can stress responses, like just physical reactions. It can mess up so much stuff just by like being on a night shift for like, it's not supposed to be something that you do indefinitely, from what I've read.
every successful mission, they earned more respect from the male pilots and officers.
Good.
That
Took
would
long
not
enough,
protect them
but
from the constant danger they faced. They had no parachutes, since Soviet
Oh, God.
command figured that in case of engine failure, the planes could simply glide back to Earth. This totally disregarded the fact that the percale cotton fabric and plywood frame burned like crazy. And if that ever happened, it was likely that both pilot and
Yeah, you're
navigator
gone.
burned to death.
Oh my God, that's one of the
Soviet
worst.
high command, that was still preferable to being captured alive by the Germans. In fact, those who were shot down or crashed behind enemy lines were expected to fight to the death, as capture was dishonorable to any Soviet soldier and would leave a stigma for the rest of their lives. Even pilots who were shot down behind the lines but hid and made it safely back to their own lines were interrogated and often condemned to death.
Oh my God.
On January 4th, 1943,
That sucks.
Roskova died in an accident on her way to the Stalingrad front. But the 588 was determined to live by her ideals. And
Good
as
for
one
them.
pilot wrote, it was a time for bombing and bombing.
Looking forward to listening to the whole song. This is like a bop already.
Soviet counterattack prompted the hasty withdrawal of the Germans from the Caucasus and gave the Night Witches more than enough opportunities to harass and attack the retreating troops. From the steppes near Stalingrad to the high mountains of the Caucasus, the praise for the Night Witches grew. The freezing winter nights through which they flew at high altitudes with open cockpits did not discourage the women from fulfilling their missions. In fact, only once were they forced to remain grounded for a time.
Dang.
On the night of July 31st, 1943, during the German counteroffensive on the Taman Peninsula in Novorossiysk, the Night Witches approached the German positions and noticed that the anti-aircraft batteries were strangely silent. Suddenly, flares lit up the sky. It was a German night fighter attack, and in moments, U-2 planes were falling out of the skies, burning to the ground. The survivors broke off, scattering back into the darkness. Such high casualties in one night were a shock to the regiment, but one that didn't last long. The war that eventually turned against the German invaders brought the witches further to the west, to the Kuban, to the Krim, to Belarus, to Poland, and eventually Germany itself.
Ooh.
They made up to a dozen sorties a night, with only a few minutes of breaks in between.
Ugh.
There
Drink
are
so much coffee,
many
but not that
stories
much
of those young
coffee.
Women who came from many different backgrounds and who did share their own personal tales of heroism, tragedy, and idealism.
Wow.
We were young and fearless. The fear came later, one of the survivors would recall.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes a certain amount of sense too. Like even with small things, sometimes the fear comes later. Like nothing as crazy as that, but like, I went to like this giant haunted woods experience once, and it was like half a mile or something. It was a long trek, but I didn't realize until like 2 hours after I got home that night. I was like, there was not necessarily any regulation on every aspect of where those woods are. I was like, any of those clowns with a chainsaw could have been a real clown with a real chainsaw and not just one with the belt removed. And then I made a determination I'm never going into a haunted open area ever again. I'll go to a haunted house because those things can be more regulated, but not a haunted woods. And I know, like, obviously I'm not trying to compare those situations because they're not the same, but I mean, when you have a lot of adrenaline and you're not necessarily thinking about the consequences until after the danger is gone, that makes sense. The fear came later.
Heroic achievements and accomplishments led to more heroes of the Soviet Union than any other Soviet bomber
Wow.
regiment. 23 by the end of the war.
Holy
Usually
crap.
At least 800 sorties made.
That's
After the
crazy.
war, and after the regiment was disbanded, their commissar, Yevdokia Rachkevich, took it upon herself to personally search for the crash sites of every last one of her
Wow.
lost flyers to provide an accurate history of the regiment and the women that served.
Wow. Good for her. That's crazy.
Okay, badass women in bomber planes. That
Yes.
was a really good description, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys decide to choose this?
Actually, you know, when we started doing research for Heroes, this was one of the first that came up for us.
Interesting.
That's been in our, what do you call it? Secret Sabaton archive for a while. And
I like it.
yeah,
The
we
Secret
just thought
Sabaton
it was
archive.
perfect way to open the album as well.
Yeah.
We have a tradition of doing something surprising for the first song, and I think that massive opening was a perfect way to start off the album. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the tempo change into the
Oh
chorus.
yeah. Sorry, you're right.
I'll learn about that later.
And, we did something different there also with the chorus being half beat compared to the rest of the song, and which is something I
Ooh.
really hate. But
Oh no, why do you hate
Why
that?
did we allow it to happen in this instance?
it's the only time I actually thought it worked.
Yeah?
You know, we wanted that.
Whose suggestion was it? Who said, "Hey, come on, let's do this"? And you said,
Oh, I did that to myself.
Oh.
So, but
Sometimes you gotta, if you're making art, it's like, I hate this, but I know it'll work for this one thing, one time.
no, I remember so clearly when we were doing the PR for this album. It's a couple of years ago now, but I was doing an interview and I was in the final stages of doing something else. I was in the studio. Interviewer was a bit nervous, I
Okay.
should say, and not used to doing interviews. And we had
Aw, baby interviewer.
a regular 30-minute interview. I was on the phone. He asked me to tell something. Well, you have a lot of stories. Could you tell me something from the album, you know,
okay.
story-wise? And I started, yeah, well, I can make an example out of the first song. And I started telling the story of the Night Witches.
Okay.
And I got a little bit carried away, you know, because I was proud of the song.
You're excited, yeah.
So, you know,
It's a cool story.
I carried away, and I probably spoke for about 8 minutes about only that song and the story about it. When I was finished, it got silent, and then I hear, okay, and the next song?
Oh man.
Oh, no.
Gosh. Oh, that's brilliant. So, now, what was the reception for Night Witches? You know,
I will say bad interview style, but like, I guess he was interested enough in his storytelling and in his song tale that he was like, okay, do me the next one too then. Like, that was really cool. Like, so it's good. It says good things about his storytelling ability and not such good things about the interviewer's storytelling ability.
because this is not something that's familiar to people.
No. The story in itself is fantastic, no matter if it would have been men or women.
Yeah.
The fact that it is women, it's a, you know, extra nice bonus, I think.
Yeah, it makes it a little extra
And,
fun, a little
Very
different.
Soviet Union too.
Because like I've watched so many stories about the like heroes of World War II, mostly from, again, the Fat Electrician videos. Most of them are about men. So it is really cool to hear one. It's like, oh yeah, women can do stuff too.
And it's still, you know, a part of our live set, very popular with the fans and us as well. I think we have some of the coolest, you know, pyro and video stuff going on that song as well.
Absolutely.
So I actually really enjoy playing that because we all, I guess, go off stage as the live intro for that song starts.
Ooh,
And
cool.
I sing the intro off stage, and I just keep
Oh, that's
the drum
cool.
on the first boom of the verse.
That's cool.
But I have a very important.
That's kind of
question.
fun to start off stage and then you go in because like you start out there, like the Germans weren't seeing anything, so it's like you start out, the crowd doesn't see anything, and then you hear them coming first. That's cool.
Pretty certain everybody who, not only everybody who watches Sabaton history, but everybody who's ever seen Sabaton or listened to Sabaton wants to know. Now, night witches, right? They to avoid any outward appearances of too much femininity and stuff because of problems with the male soldiers and stuff. They all cut their hair really short. They all crop their hair, right? One, do you think any of them had your hairstyle?
I
No.
certainly hope not.
And two, do we have any pictures of you when you were a kid with like the same? Did you have the same like?
I was born like this.
No.
All right, Joachim. Well, thank you very much for this today.
Thank you very much.
You know, I always love talking to you about these songs. All right, well, we'll see you next time.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Sabaton history.
Cool. All right, I will watch a little more of this, and then I'm gonna go and actually look at the whole song. If I can find a live version, I'll watch that. I didn't have it pulled up. I have like the lyric video pulled up. But if I can find a live,
Everyone, you know the drill. You click, 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 click. Get some subscriptions. Check out
All of that?
these other channels. Become a Patreon. That's it. Get the fuck out of here.
oh dang, I got sworn at. I wasn't expecting that. Dang. That was fun though. Like, and it's cool to learn a little bit about the background first. Let's just see if I can find the video that I'm looking for. We'll see. 1 second. Okay, I found a live version of their Leipzig tour. So, Leipzig. So I found a version of that. So let's go. And again, it's starting out dark already. I like the, I don't know, is this like the live music? I don't know. Looks like it is. That's cool though. I like the air raid sirens to start. Oh, this is cool. Oh, we're getting like a side of the stage. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that again, I'm just like going to start with the production value, which is awesome because you get the lighting up of the pyrotechnics that again to just sort of hint at the bombings. They're really putting us right in the middle of it. Oh, to do this in Germany is fun. All right. Ooh, a little chorus action? It's getting more intense. That's really cool. Oh my God! Oh, that's already awesome. Oh my God. What a way to start a freaking show. I also like that he's doing a little bit of that metal growl, but he's not, it's not overpowering right now, and you can still understand what he's saying, because that is an issue that I've had a couple of times with a hard metal growl. It's like, I like a lot of songs from the metal bands, but I'm like, oh, this is the section I don't understand anything that's happening. It sounds cool, and it sounds really thematic, but I have no idea what's happening here. I'm like, maybe because I do know a little bit more about the history, I can piece it together a little bit better. But again, the pyrotechnics jumping out, the smoke everywhere, the way he's running around. I love the set that they've created for this. Top tier. Never miss their mark, baby. Oh, it's so cool. I'm getting like chills. And I really, really like the sort of the image we're getting right here of like where the cameraman is. We're not really getting the focus on the band itself. The focus is it feels like it's more on the music, because like you're not looking at what they're doing very often. You're on stage with them. You're part of it. It's really, really immersive in a way that I feel like a lot of the times that I've seen like these pro shots, it's cool, but they cut away from the coolest bits a lot of the times too, to like, this way you do have the audience in there, and you definitely you feel like you're in the center of it. It's fun to feel like you're with the band on stage. Okay. Hey, up the stairs we go. Okay, and I like, it's kind of cool, like the choruses. Again, he said that they took them down a step, which is interesting. It's like it does slow it down again, but it adds to the feel of things revving up and things getting more and more intense. I can see why he figures like it works this time. So it's, again, it feels like things are, it feels like, like, again, I know it's intentional, like the bombs are dropping and it's perfect, like right on the beat. Also, I like that in this part, like they're all together. You know, you have the call and response happening where he's alone, and then you have the others in regiment, like they're in line with him, but also a step back. And then in that part, everyone is exactly all on the same time. Everyone's on the same page. There's not a call and response. It's just an interesting way to do a chorus. Ooh, yes, guitar. I like the going down. This is a smart way to do it. It did feel a bit like the plane's gliding. Oh, he's sick. Sorry. I'm going back and listening to it again. Bridge. Nice. Oh, he's bringing out a bazooka. Well, that's cool. I like too that, you know, everyone's getting their own little chances to shine. And that's the thing that I appreciate about a lot of metal songs. Like, you know, the lead singer will go off for a second and let everybody else in the band do their bit, and then they come back with something a little bit bigger. I can't believe he got a little bazooka. That's so cool. Yes. Oh my God. And that song builds so well. Like it feels like you're in the middle of a epic battle the entire time, and with the drums going faster and faster, and like rat-a-tat, like it felt a lot more snare at the end, which always feels a little bit more bullets like. And then the explosion. They got him. They got that tanker. Okay, that was pretty sick. Like I said, I know it's been a long time since I've done a Sabaton video. Not on purpose. Well, kind of. For a while, it was because Kit was doing them, and it didn't really seem like I had a lot to add to the Sabaton videos. When I was watching, like, I feel like I can add a little bit more with some of the other singers that I talk about. I just can catch a little bit more about what they're doing. I can talk a little bit more about the lyrics, or like analyzing parts of the music. Sabaton, I found it really difficult to do that, and I do find it really difficult to analyze Sabaton in a way that I don't find it as tricky to do for other bands. And part of that is because either like there's female singers that I can kind of latch onto and talk about. Or, you know, again, there's more poetry, I guess, in the lyrics. And here it's like they're singing about real things that happened. And it's so cool. But I learned I don't really know as much about history as I do some other stuff. So it makes it difficult for me to really sit down and analyze it, which makes the history video at the beginning really cool. So I got to learn something. I got to really enjoy a fun song. I mean, the Night Witches seemed like they were awesome. Good for them. And, you know, maybe if the war had been closer to American soil, American women would have gotten a similar chance. Did European women have a shot at this, or was it literally just the Soviets? That is something that they didn't explain, but I would be interested to know. So anyway, thank you for watching this. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done Sabaton, but if I should do more, go ahead and let me know. Also, let me know if I should keep doing the history videos for it. Other than that, let me know what else I should look at, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!